we had to do a complete 360 because we're not an online shop. So we were scrambling like, okay, what are we going to do? We can't stop functioning. We have rent to pay.
Running a creative retail business really shouldn't be so hard. I'm Wendy Batten, and this is the Creative Shop Talk podcast.
Hey everybody, I want to introduce you to an amazing retailer. I want you all to meet Kim Smith from Oromocto Galleria in Oromocto, New Brunswick. And I wanted to bring her on to the Creative Shop Talk podcast today to introduce a phenomenal business owner, and I'm doing things right through this. So hi Kim, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I am trying to spread joy. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't mean it that way, but I am trying to encourage and let other retailers know and see what retailers are doing all over the world. Actually, we work with retailers all over the world, and you are standing out to me as a business owner who is pivoting, shifting, adjusting, like we all are. Quite quickly, right? Like we've had to alternate every day. It's a new thing. So we're recording this on April 8th. So as of today, because again, it's shifting every day with this. And do you want to tell us a little bit about your business and what's going on right now, like the situation, whether you're open or closed and all that kind of thing?
Sure. Yes. So my shop, like you said, is in Oromocto, New Brunswick, in Atlantic, Canada. We're in a military town, and like all the other businesses in the surrounding area across the province are temporarily shut down. However, we are able to offer curbside pickup and delivery to our clients. So we had to do a complete 360 because we're not an online shop. So that's what we're able to do. We are an authorized fusion mineral paint retailer. We do a ton of workshops, and we do a lot with children as well as adults. So we were scrambling like, okay, what are we going to do? We can't stop functioning. We have rent to pay,
Yeah, I know it's been a 360. I just wrote that down because that's exactly how it's like. Okay, brakes on.
Exactly.
And how do we do this? So when did you close? When did you close the doors, Kim? To social shopping. Yeah.
Right. So yes, absolutely. Just social shopping. We're in our third week now of doing the curbside pickup and delivery.
Right. So one of the things that I admire a lot about you, and I wanted you to come on and talk about, because I watched you pivot really quickly, to be honest. And you are the go-to in your area for workshops. I am like in awe of the hundreds of workshops that you do every month. I was just going to say, I see like giant groups happen. I kind of keep my eye on you and I see what you're doing. And these big groups are all, a big part of the community. I know you're in a military community, like you said, but do you want to just share how you have pivoted or what you are now offering? Because those people are your people. First of all, you've built a beautiful community. What are you doing? How are you serving them? I mean, what are you serving them and how are you serving them at this stage?
Okay. So what we did, you're right. We did do a lot of workshops. We would put our average size workshop, the smaller workshops would be for about 12 people. A lot of our workshops average anywhere from 20 to 30 people. We usually do 2-3 a week. We have done them upwards. We've done 4 100-seat workshops over the last little while. Those are a lot of fun, and I have a very, very good support team that helped me with that. So we had a lot of workshops booked for, we book a few months out, 3 months out. And with those workshops, they're pre-booked. So that meant I had already bought a lot of the materials for those workshops. So I'm like, what are we going to do? And the people in the community, we do a lot with I'm surrounded by 3 First Nations communities. So we do a lot with the First Nations communities, and we also do a lot with the military community. As you had mentioned, Oromocto is a military town. So we do a lot with the military children. We do a lot with the family resource development group. And we're just like, okay, let's see, we could still put DIY kits out. Our first focus was to do something for the children because the children are home, they're bored, their parents are shack-wacky, they need something for these kids to do, right? So we're like, okay, it's coming up on Easter time. So we came up with Easter bunnies and Easter eggs. And we wanted to be able to give the kids something that was just some painting, some creativity. We didn't necessarily want them to have to worry about how to use a stencil and minimal instruction required, right? So we put out these little Easter bunnies and Easter eggs.
So Kim is a prime example of knowing what her customers want, right? Like, you know, exactly, you knew like right away you could put into action. So, and that's just, again,
Yep.
from the committee, from the community that you've been building. So
Sure.
really impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, so we built these like Easter eggs, and then there's Easter bunnies, and we package them with some paint, and we put some sparkles in it. We throw in some candy for the kids, and I'm not kidding. We have put hundreds out the door. We had a call from I reached out to our First Nations community, and they said, the kids, they're bored. What do you got? What can you give us? So we gave one of them, well, we sold, I should say, a set of 50 last week were picked up. Yesterday, we were meant to do a large workshop with one of the messes here on base. So I reached out to them. I said, look, what do you want to do for the children? They have parents who are in isolation. They've got parents that are getting ready to deploy. They quickly snapped up 100 of these kits. We were here at 7 o'clock yesterday morning, packing those up, putting candies in them, putting paint, putting sparkles, ribbons, the whole gamut. And they were picked up and delivered to the families of children whose parents are deploying during this, pandemic, right? So that was like, oh my gosh, you pack them up, you cry. You pack a few more, you cry, And then I had another reach out from the First Nations again. We do our own stencils, so we custom in Maliseet in Mi'kmaq language. So we have some wreaths here. They say "Quay," which is welcome and hello. We're working on some different feather themed and some dream catcher themes for the 3 First Nations communities.
So you were just sharing like a lot of the products that you have, again, come up with creative solutions, really, because we're creatives.
We try,
first,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I know. It's like, what can we do? What can we serve our customers? What do they need? I mean, what
Yeah.
I'm hearing from all of this is, what do the military families need? Like, actually, I'm like kind of choked up when you were talking about it. I was like, oh, because it's what your people, well, again, it's this strange time. We're pivoting.
Well, they're sending us pictures, and they're like, I'm not kidding. I have 2 grandmothers, one in Winnipeg and another out in Saskatchewan. Every time we post, I need that delivered to this address in Oromocto. We need to get that delivered to my grandchildren. And the support has been phenomenal. And it's anything to make the kids are so happy. And when we bring the packages up, my oldest boy delivers. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Mommy," goes, "the kids are waving out the window," and
yeah.
it is so heartwarming.
Yeah, Kim's doing drop and dash. She's keeping everything very safe. Working again with her son. I've actually wanted to comment on that as well too, because I knew you had your family helping you. We're all just making it work, right? Everybody's like, there's no. I joked and I said to somebody the other day, "There's no free ride. Everybody's got to work. You're help mom, and it's just the way it is right now." But
exactly.
So one thing I really wanted to comment on is I think part of this whole crisis that we're in the middle of with as retailers, a lot of retailers are like looking sort of at all the bad stuff happening, and I think there's a lot of good things happening through this. I think that we are in a position, and you're again a prime example of this. We are in positions of Walmarts aren't doing this. The big stores are not.
That's right.
They're not
small company. Yes.
They're not reaching out on the phone and calling.
No.
Susie Q because they know, hey, listen, how can we make this work for your people? They're not able to pivot and do this. I mean, maybe in a big scale, yes, but I'm a true believer, and I've been teaching this for years inside my paintprinters inner circle, that we need to keep building these communities of our customers, because we can interact with them, because they care about us too. Like, they want to see you thrive. I know I've actually seen comments on your Facebook page, how can we help, what do you need, like, and I'm it's so warming. Like, it's just so that's them talking to you, not you saying what do you need. It's a two-way street. I'm seeing that repeatedly with a lot of the retailers that I work with, because they're building relationships where
Right.
we care about our people, right? So
Mhm.
we are able to continue business because we have that. We're not just shutting the doors and saying, well,
That's correct.
we've been given these constraints, so I might as well just go home. So I admire you for doing that. I think your customers, this is a secondary thing, kind of moving through this onto the other side, because we're talking about what the other side is going to look like. I think people are going to remember how we make them feel, how we showed up, how you're serving them.
Absolutely.
I really think that this is, not that they're going to say, oh, it's not a matter of, oh, Kim's just trying to keep her rent paid, because that's part of it. We have to keep our rent paid.
Well, we have to do what we have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing it with heart, and I see you doing it. I'm just, again, really impressed with how you're showing up for your community. They're showing up for you. And again,
Oh, thank you. Yes.
that's not by accident. I said that to you before we started. This is not by accident. This is from consistently showing up for people. And, going the extra mile, for our people before all this, not just, oh, I should be really nice to my people now because I need them after, or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's not where this comes from. People that
that's what you get with the small business. You go the extra mile. Little extra goes a long way.
Absolutely. And also I'm seeing a lot of, and I'm sure this is the case for you as well, even dealing with suppliers and wholesalers and all the people that are up level from you or down level,
Right.
we have relationships with those people. We can pick up the phones, we can call, we can talk to, we can say,
Yeah.
hey, I need wood because I'm building bunnies, or whatever
Exactly.
that may be. And I'm seeing that a lot too, and I'm assuming that's how we're able to, you were able to pivot and shift a lot of those
Yes, exactly.
bunny requests and stuff.
Yes.
So on the other side of this, when this is over, when we come back, I do believe it's going to be a new normal. It's not going to be what we.
Yeah.
It's going to.
I think you're right. Yes.
Going to be a different landscape, and that's okay. It is what it is, right? We have to just be
Right.
okay with it being the other side. I think a lot of things are going to change. Customers are probably still going to expect, maybe delivery or or
Yes.
curbside pickup,
Yeah.
or maybe be a little hesitant about coming to giant workshops right away. Maybe not. I don't know. We're not sure how that's going to look for everybody's community. But what I'm seeing and what I think is going to be, the community is not going to change. They're going to be so happy to be back in your store. They're going to be so, they're going to, again, remember, I think the community aspect of it is, and I wanted to bring you on because I really think you're a fine example of, you're not just selling paint. Like this is not your why. I know that.
Right.
Giving back to your community, and I see it, and I urge people, and I'll share it on the podcast notes. We'll share Kim's store, a link to her Facebook page. Is that where you'd like us to send people to your Facebook page?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So I urge you all to go and give Kim a like at the Oromocto Galleria. You will be impressed with what you see when you go even, to her Facebook page, and go pop over and say hi. And you're on Instagram as well. I see you on Instagram as well too. So you can follow. We'll put all your links on the show notes as well too. What are you looking forward to? What has this made possible for you? That's a question I'm asking everybody. What has this whole crisis made possible for you?
For me, I think it's shown me that I can quickly turn around and quickly come up with a new plan. We are able to keep our door, not keep our door open, but we're able to keep our business running. I'm able to be in touch with my customers. I'm still able to, financially, my business is doing okay. We're doing quite okay. This is the busiest. I have never been so busy in my peak time. I'm like, no kidding. I've never been so busy. And that's what, for us, it is just go do what we can. We have to survive. We have to make changes. And the people want what we have to offer. So.
Well, you're doing an excellent job, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know time is tight. I know I'm catching you at the studio, and you're like,
fine. It's all good.
I totally appreciate you sharing that with us, and I just want, I'm hoping that it encourages the other retailers to start thinking about how
outside of the box. Like, you've got to be able to do something new. Don't be afraid to try something new.
That's how it's going to work. And I think, and again, building that community up is super important as well. So thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate you
very much, Wendy.
Hey, thanks for joining me today. I know how precious your time is, and I'm so appreciate you taking time out of your crazy day to be here with us. All the links for today's show can be found at wendybatten.com/podcast. We'd also like to invite you to come over and continue the conversation over on my free Facebook group. It's called Rockstar Creatives. I'm going to be popping in there live every week to continue the conversation, talk a little bit about what we spoke about today. And I'd love for you to join us over there, Rockstar Creatives on Facebook. I'd also love to ask, if it's not too much trouble, if you could leave me a review and let me know what you think of the podcast. If you're loving the show, be sure that you're subscribing to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. I'd hate for you to miss one. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you today. I'll see you next week here on the Creative Shop Talk podcast.